Today we're reviewing the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg? Today we're reviewing the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Today we're reviewing the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Quacks of Quedlinburg. Today we're reviewing the Quacks of Quedlinburg by Wolfgang Warsch. I'm Mark Maya. Welcome to Board Game Coffee. The Quacks of Quedlinburg is a 2 to 4 player press your luck game where players reach into these little black sacks and pull out ingredients, then proceed to place them into their pot until either they choose to stop or the whole experiment blows up in their face. Nope, we're not doing that.
Oh, come on. It's like the pot exploding. You know. Poof.
Nope.
Why not?
First of all, everyone can see it's just you with a bag of flour.
What if I stand here?
No, it's going to make a mess. And you only want to do it because you saw the guys on Shut Up and Sit Down do it.
And it was funny.
And I said no.
Remember when you were fun? Neither do I.
Where was I? Right. The great thing about Quacks is that it's super simple. And it goes a little something like this. So first thing you need to know about Quacks is that the game is played simultaneously. There are no turns. Everyone at the same time and without peeking reaches into their little black sacks and pulls out these ingredients, placing them into their pot. The number on the piece you pulled determines how many spaces ahead of the last piece it gets placed. So if you pull a level 1 ingredient, it goes here. And if you pull a level 3, 1, 2, 3, your ingredient goes here. The further up the track you get, the more points and spending bonuses you get between rounds. Sometimes you'll even get one of these gems, which you can spend on other stuff. If at any time you pull out 8 or more points of these little white bits, your pot will bubble over and explode, ending your turn. Still no. And that's the press your luck part of Quacks of Quedlinburg. Pretty much all of it, actually. Well, not all of it, but definitely most of it. And definitely the best part. Because every time you reach into that bag, you gotta ask yourself, is it worth it? I mean, one more pull couldn't hurt. After all, the odds are on my side. See? Piece of cake. I was worried for nothing. Look how well I'm doing. Sure, not as well as he's doing, and she's still going pretty strong. But you know what? That's okay. I've got a respectable amount of points, and I'm comfortable with my achievements. I could stop now, collect my winnings, and be perfectly safe. But what if? I could do one more. Just pull one more from the bag, and then I'll stop. This time for sure. No matter what happens, I'm stopping after this pull. I knew I could do it. That was almost too easy. Maybe just one more. Oh yeah, I'll be perfectly fine. There's loads of stuff in here. I mean, even if I pull out a level 2 cherry bomb, I'll be fine. Hell, I'll even earn myself some extra points. I can't lose. Although, there is that level 3 cherry bomb still in there. Somewhere. Pulling that would not be good. But that's only one chit out of, what, like 8 that are left in this bag? No way that's gonna happen. No way. Shit. And that's Quacks of Quedlinburg in a nutshell. And like I said, that's the best part. Because in those stress-inducing moments when you're deciding whether to pull or not to pull, that's where the excitement lives. And that's where you feel the most alive. Although I have come to the conclusion that I have the uncanny ability to pull out exactly what I don't want. It's like I'm a magnet for poor choices. Now, you would think that it would be easy enough to just do the math and stop before you explode. And it is. You could play it safe and just stop pulling from the bag once you've reached 4 points worth of cherry bombs. But chances are, you're not going to win, and you definitely won't be having as much fun. Because in the risk is the reward. And another thing to keep in mind is when you explode, you don't lose everything as you might think. But you don't get as much either. You see, between rounds, there are a few things that happen. And those things revolve primarily around gathering more ingredients for your pot or scoring points. If your pot goes boom, you'll have to make a choice, either score points or gather more ingredients. Now, Quacks is a simple game, but it does offer up some variety from round to round. And it does this in two ways. First, there's these things, these fortune teller cards. Once per round, the first player flips over the top card of the deck, reads it out loud, and then everybody does what it says. Or they don't. It really depends. Some cards offer up some sweet bonus options, like everyone rolls the die once and gets the bonus shown, while others switch up some of the game conditions, such as any player who gets to roll the die this round rolls twice. The second way Quacks of Quedlinburg varies up gameplay is with ingredient sets. You only ever play with one set at a time, but there are 4 sets to choose from. And although the ingredients might look the same from one set to the next, they do play very differently. Well, for the most part. Mouths don't change much, and pumpkins do the same thing in every set. Although they do combo differently with different ingredients in different sets. For example, a pumpkin on its own simply advances you 1 space. But played with the mushroom from the first set of ingredients, and the mushroom moves further up the pot depending on the number of pumpkins that came before it. Any special abilities that an ingredient might have are listed here in the ingredient book for easy reference. Which is nice, because I appreciate not having to pull out the rule book every time I need to reference some obscure ingredient icon. Although, if I do need to reference anything, there is a handy-dandy reference guide in the box. There are over 20 different ingredient functions across all 4 sets, and it's a lot of fun to experiment with all of them. It's actually the main reason I keep going back to play, because I want to try out different combos and see what will happen. Oh, and I almost forgot, there is one more way that Quacks varies up gameplay. Kinda. Your player board has 2 sides, although the only real difference is this part right here. The rulebook recommends that you start with the basic side of the pot, but the variations offered on this side are so minor that I'm pretty sure you'll be fine starting here. What are the differences? Well, each time you get a chance to move this thing, you can choose to move this one instead. You see, when you move this one, you advance your start point. But when you move this one down here, you earn whatever bonus is depicted in the vial. Now, although it is nice to have the option to move one marker over another, I never found it all that advantageous to move the lower one. Moving your start marker, in my experience, has always been the better option. So yes, we do play on this side, but we've gotten to the point where we never actually use its benefits. Okay, confession time. When I first sat down with Quacks, I thought to myself, wow, there really isn't a whole lot to this game. I mean, I'm just pulling shits out of a bag and placing them on a board. And honestly, based on all the press and awards this game was getting, I was expecting more. I even started to ask myself, was buying this game a mistake? But I thought to myself, whatever, I'm at the table and playing the game, let's make the most of it. And I did. I sat there, I took it all in, and I played a complete game of Quacks. When it was over, I looked around at everybody at the table and simply asked, who wants to play again? And that happened over and over again. I just wanted to keep playing, and I wasn't exactly sure why. It's not a complex mind bender or an action-packed dice roller, or any type of game where I could screw over my opponent. My favorite, by the way. So, what was it? And then it hit me. It's like bad TV. Not that it's a bad game or that bad TV is actually bad. It's good. It's easy to get into and just lose yourself in. You could just flip on Quacks, turn off your mind, and play without much thought. Have you ever found yourself in a Netflix original marathon, which started with the innocent intent of watching one episode of Russian Doll before bed? Sure you have. We all have. Maybe not Russian Doll, but something. You sit down for one episode and then 6 hours later you're waking up late for work, tired and wondering where the evening went. That's what Quacks is like. Well, for me it is. My only major complaint about Quacks is that there's all this delicious tension between you and your opponent throughout the whole game. And then it completely drops off in the last round. It's like we're building to a crescendo that never happens. There's no, ooh, I wonder who won. You know who won, but still you gotta sit there, play it through, and watch it happen. And there's no chance to respond to it either, it just is what it is. Over. And that part is a bit of a bummer. In our gaming circles, we've had the odd game where we've had two players within a few points of each other. And for them, it was quite the nail-biter. But that almost never happens. Alright, now, gameplay aside, I feel like I can't wrap up this review without mentioning how fabulous this game looks. I love the detail and the color used in the art. And most of all, I love the three-dimensional look of the player board and the recipe books. I mean, the first time I saw a video of the original German version, and the guy in the video reached down into his board and flipped over what I thought was just a static part of the art, I was blown away. It might not be the most technically advanced artwork I've seen in a game, but there's just something about it that I find so appealing. Okay, final verdict? I've had a lot of fun with Quacks, but I've never been blown away by it. But I really like it, and I keep going back. It's the perfect game to bring out with less experienced gamers, and chances are they're gonna like it. So, should you buy Quacks? Sure, why the hell not? It's fun, it's comfortable, and it's easy to get into. What more do you want? What's that? You're looking for something that's strategically complex? Well, no, then this isn't for you. But if you are looking for something a little heavier, check out our review and top 5 videos. You're bound to find something that's a better fit. But with that said, try Quacks anyways. Alright, and that's it for our review of Quacks of Quedlinburg. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything we do here at Board Game Coffee. But if you want to see more right now, check out some of our other videos. We have a lot to choose from. I'm Mark Maya, and this is Board Game Coffee. And remember, have fun, keep gaming, be social. See you next week.